Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound. Real Madrid have taken home a goal advantage in the all-important UCL match. We got the elusive away goal that we all were looking forward to, and how pivotal that goal can be in the context of this tie. There were ups and downs on the road and the game got quite intense towards the latter stages, but an absolute wonder goal ensured that big smiles sustained on the faces of all the Madridistas. In this video, we will do the post-match analysis of Atalanta versus Real Madrid. We'll break down the performance of the players, so let's get started. Let's first start by having a look at the lineup. We had Courtois, then we had the back four of Nacho, Varane, Vasquez and Mendy. We had four midfielders, the regular trio of Kroos, Casemiro and Modric along with Isco. And in attack, we had Vinicius and Asensio. Today we skipped the shout-out section because none of you got your predictions correct. None of us were able to predict a 1-0 scoreline, and that to an extent says that we weren't expecting this game to be so tight. Zidane run the changes with the 4-4-2, moving away from the traditional 4-4-3. And when the lineup was announced, I was interested to see how Isco would fare in the game. It was a big game and I thought this was a much better performance from Isco. When you compare this performance to what he has done earlier in the season, it was much better, and he was offered a free role in the side. He was linking up the midfield and attack, and he did create a few chances in the first half. Now he did have a bit of rust and he still isn't close to his prime in his prime years, but he did some nice work yesterday. Moving on, if we talk about the game, as I said earlier, most of us weren't thinking that we would be treated with such a tight game. We expected end-to-end stuff, and in the opening exchanges it did look like we were in for an entertaining match. Nacho and Zapata were engaged in battle mode, Mendy was going forward, and we'll talk about him later, but we were expecting this game to open up, and then came the red card incident. Isco, Vinicius and Mendy were involved in the move which led to the red card, and that incident completely turned the game on its head. You would imagine that Real Madrid would have the upper hand with a numerical advantage, and they did have the lion's share of possession, but Atalanta from that point did something which was very unlike Atalanta. From that point onwards, Atalanta adopted a more conservative approach. They were not playing attacking football anymore. They were sitting back, and we know this style of football doesn't suit Madrid. Our players find it difficult to get goals in such circumstances, and that is exactly what happened. After Zapata was taken off as well due to an injury, Gasperini knew his attacking prowess had been cut down significantly, and then he took the approach of frustrating Real Madrid. We could notice his approach towards the game had completely changed, and then he adopted the pragmatic style of playing. If we talk about the second half, we started off strong, but Atalanta held their lines and it was quite clear that they were playing for a stalemate. They were looking to keep the scores at 0-0 as long as possible, and they almost succeeded in doing so. In fact, I don't think they would be very disappointed by conceding one goal after playing majority of the match with 10 men. They know they are still in the tie with a chance to go through. And now talking a bit about the red card incident, let's analyze the situation through this picture. Mendy had a clear goal scoring chance. Some people say that Freuler wasn't the last man to be beaten, but if you see the picture carefully, you will see that Romero, the other defender, was miles away from Mendy, and had Mendy not been fouled, he would have had a clear shot at goal. Now when the foul was originally given, I did feel that the foul was a bit harsh, but after seeing the replays I had no doubt about the decision and I was firmly in favour of the red. And now let's talk about the hero of the night, Ferland Mendy. If we talk about his role throughout the match, there is a sense that Zidane is trying to convert him into a more attacking fullback. You can have a look at the position Mendy took throughout the match. You can see that he was taking attacking positions very often. Sometimes he would even occupy spaces in the midfield to help counter the wingbacks of Atalanta. It's almost like Zidane has given him the license to be more involved in the final third. In the past month as well, we have seen Mendy showing some significant improvement in his attacking output, and the goal that he scored, it was an absolute beauty. It was almost unbelievable that Mendy with his weaker foot was able to put so much power and so much precision to break the deadlock. Even Zidane was very surprised after Mendy scored that goal, and in the interview he did mention that the move was pre-planned, but Mendy taking the shot from distance took him by surprise. The surprise probably stems from the fact that very often in the past we have seen Mendy taking those shots from outside the box with his weaker foot, but in those instances we have seen the ball comfortably sailing over the bar. In this instance though, it was an inch-perfect shot which handed Real Madrid a very important goal. The timing of the goal made it even more jubilant, and as I said earlier, it was getting tense. We were very near to drawing the game, and had Atalanta succeeded, we would have been very disappointed in the end. The conditions were perfect for us to take advantage of proceeding, and had we failed to score that important away goal, the team would have been heavily criticized, and Atalanta as well would have grown more confident knowing that they were able to stop Real Madrid, that too with 10 men. So I was quite relieved in the end that we got the winner, and we all felt the adrenaline rush as Mendy scored with that gorgeous finish. Now talking about the defense, I feel the entire backline deserves a lot of praise. This was Courtois during the match, and he had very little to do on the night, and even after the match he came out to say that he was expecting to to face more shots, and that statement tells a lot about our defense. Atalanta had 0 shots on target, and that was due to the sheer solidity of our defense, which was marshaled by Varane. And although it can be said that the red card did have a bearing, but you can only face the opposition that's in front of you, and the defense had a well-rounded performance on the night. Nacho as well had a very strong showing. He won 6 duels, had 4 successful tackles and 2 interceptions. He was physically strong, was going in with sliding tackles, and he put up a top quality performance. Vasquez as well took care of his defensive duties. I thought he was a bit more withdrawn compared to Mendy, but Vasquez, he has certainly added value to his stock this season. He has played a lot of games in the absence of Carvajal in the past few months, and more often than not, he has got the job done in that position. So thumbs up to him. Cruz, Casemiro and Modric, they dictated the tempo of the game, but the problem was that in attack we didn't have those elite players to take care of the chances which usually come about with so much possession. Asensio had a poor game. At times he was almost unnoticeable, and I thought he should have been subbed off in the second half when Mariano took the pitch. But again, it was a normal performance from our attackers. Lack of attacking output has become the new normal, and that's a shame for a team like Real Madrid. So overall, I'm very happy with the result. It was pleasing in the end. I won't deny that it did get frustrating towards the latter stages, but we got a good result. With so many issues that Zidane had, with so many players out injured, we have placed ourselves in a strong position. But of course, the tie is far from over. Atalanta will be coming to Spain, with them having a bone to pick with Madrid, but we will be ready, and surely we will be having a much stronger lineup than we had yesterday. The second leg is set to be a dramatic one, and I'm very sure it is going to be very entertaining. Often these first legs do have the tendency to be a bit cagey. Teams do follow a cautious approach in the first 90 minutes of the tie, but the second legs are more action-packed, and with this Atalanta side, which is a goal down, surely we will have a great match to relish. As for us, we will be having one of our key players absent for the second leg. Casemiro, he picked up a yellow card, and he was so close to picking up a red. He went down inside the penalty box unchallenged, and have a look at this picture. Here you can see the eyes of Casemiro, and you can see these eyes asking for forgiveness from the referee. It was almost like the eyes were saying, "No ref, I'm very sorry, don't give me a red." And that was the time when the scores were 0-0. So thankfully we didn't go down to 10 men in the match, and we ended the game maintaining the numerical advantage. Moving on, let's hear what Zidane had to say in his post-match press conference. When asked about his thoughts on the red card incident and the victory of his side, he said, "I don't know if the sending off was decisive. The referee made the decision. We didn't play a particularly good game because we played with 10 against 11. Ultimately, scoring an away goal is very important for us. It doesn't mean anything because we still have the second leg. Atalanta are strong, physical and very good defensively. Today's result is good for us." He further went on to say it was an uncomfortable match because we didn't find the spaces. When you play against 10, you play against 10. The most important thing for us is the result. The match won't happen again. We scored an away goal and kept a clean sheet, but there is still a second leg and the tie isn't over yet. We will have to put a great performance in Madrid. Finally, Zidane was asked for his thoughts on the performance of Isco. He said he's a player, he played today. Although he hasn't been involved too much lately, especially in the starting 11, we know what he can do, and whenever he plays, he gives it everything he's got. So that is what the coach had to say, and that concludes my post-match analysis. Now, it's your time to let me know what you thought about the performance of the team. I know some of you were overjoyed as Mendy scored the winner, so write your thoughts in the comments below. I will see you soon. Till then, take care, glory to Madrid, and as always, a la Madrid!